Hi everybody, my name is Patty. Today I'm going to be talking about the brain injury I had and how I was able to cure it. I don't want to edit this video, so I'm going to be speaking very slowly. So the goal is not really to tell you what happened, but the goal is really to tell you how I overcame it emotionally and physically. So I'm making this video in order to inform and educate some people that might be going through this. It's not to tell my story because obviously, I mean, it's still hard to talk about, it's hard to think about. So yeah. Now, I was attacked in 2012 when I was 26 years old. So there was some kind of altercation on the street, and I was punched in the head. So I was punched left temple here and several other places, but I know I was definitely punched in the temple. I remember it. Now, as you can see here, you see the hair loss here. That's because like things were not working properly, okay? And then you see here, like there's a lot more hair. So even years later, like because the brain wasn't functioning properly and its functions were limited, probably the blood wasn't flowing well, the hair stopped growing here. So that's just about the only thing that I could still see or feel that has stayed. But I mean, it's not a big deal. I don't care. But it's just to show you here. You see, and it wasn't like that before. So yeah. So we're in the year 2019 now, and it took me 1, 2, 3.5 years to basically recover from it, and it was the hardest thing. Like, it was the hardest 3.5 years of my life. It's so hard to explain it and put it into words that could justify the true feeling behind it. But I would say the hardest part is not knowing if you will recover. Because the injury it's your brain, right? Like when you have a leg injury or an arm injury, sure, it's annoying, but it seems like the message takes time. Like if you're in pain, but if it's on your head all the time, pain is on your head, it can literally, it literally drives you mental because it's so close to your face. It's your brain. Like whatever pain that had lingered was driving me mental because it was like a constant headache on my left temple. What it had felt like what lingered on after, like uh was like a constant pressure here and then pain in my jaw. So basically, like they diagnosed me with TMJ after it was a traumatic brain injury, and then when that kind of slowly died down, I'm going to be speaking about that. It was diagnosed as TMJ, but I mean the pain in my jaw was fine, like it was tolerable, but the pain here, it it will drive you mad, like it will drive you mad. And not only that, because you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, just like every day 24/7 you wake up, it's like, oh my god, another day with this headache. It's just like a pressure headache. Like imagine somebody's doing this to you for like 2, 3, 4 years. I mean, it's like, get off me, like, ah. So but yeah, right now I'm good. No pressure, nothing. I'm great. So when the injury first happened, basically you're just like in a daze. It's because of the impact. I don't know, they say your brain kind of shakes, so then it needs to like stabilize. So it does feel like it's all shook up. Like if I do this to the camera, eventually you're gonna be like, right? So that's what it feels like every moment, from morning till night. Now, uh, when you're dealing with this, uh, you have no energy. Now, when I say no energy, like I remember I didn't even have energy to wash a dish. Like everything I had to do, I had to write down on a piece of paper. And like maybe completing 3 tasks was like a lot for the day. And when I say like 3 tasks, it's like, I don't know, like just simple stuff. Like it's not like 3 tasks of going downtown or this, doing that. No. So it would be hard to just do your daily things, like to take care of yourself, and let alone the rest, right? So it's it's an extremely difficult situation because you can't concentrate. That's why I had to write what I was doing down, and it's not in the sense that people make a list of what they're gonna shop for when they go to the grocery store. No, it was really like what I'm gonna do. Like I couldn't remember things. Like just okay, I have to do this today, and I would have to write it down because like a few minutes later I wouldn't remember. So uh yeah, and then the effort it took to actually do it, that was another thing. Like even let's say we all have paperwork to do, right? Like banking and all of that, and it would just take me forever to just like figure out the numbers, and then my head would just like go in a daze. And yeah, it would take me forever to be able to do simple tasks, especially when it came to concentrating. So yeah, it was a depression. But when I say depression, like there are many different types of depression and symptoms. Like I think the term is used very loosely now. Like, oh well, there's all kinds of depressions, right? There's like seasonal depression, and there's like bipolar depression, and all kinds of depressions. Like it comes in many different forms. If I could describe this type of depression, it's like pure despair, where you're just like me. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. There's no light. Like it's just dark, pure darkness. And I know these terms are used so loosely that they've almost become insignificant. But people say, "Oh, I'm depressed, I'm down." Yeah, and we all have days like this. So do I right now, right? But it's not every day, and it's really not the same kind of depression. Like it's just like, oh, I'm in a sad mood or an emotional mood or moody. Um, but when I'm talking about this type of depression, it's like a dark hole. Like imagine the deepest, bottomless, darkest hole imaginable, and you're at the bottom. And even when you look up, there's no light. So you're so deep in there, and it's not by choice. It's not because, oh, something happened, like to provoke it emotionally. No, it's just because your brain's literally not working. It's not due to a breakup or some kind of like outside situation, right? It's really like your brain's not working, and it's just like you're in a hole. That's how it felt for me. And you don't see the light. You don't know if you if it's gonna go away tomorrow, you don't know. So that's the hardest part, because if there's kind of like a time limit to it, you can be like, okay, well, I'll tough it out for like another 2 months. It's kind of like a broken leg. Like, I've never had one, but you know it's gonna heal. Um, but brain injuries, you don't know when it's gonna heal, and it's debilitating. Like, it handicaps your life. Like, uh, when you can't concentrate, you just feel like useless. Like, and you lose who you are. You lose your personality. You lose a big part of you, like the intellectual part of you. Like, and that's a big part of who we are. Like, we're intellectuals. We need to grow intellectually. We need to grow. Um, but one thing I did learn was to become resilient and to continue, uh, and persevere and persevere and persevere. Like, even though it was so hard, and I remember, um, I was at my wit's end. Like, I used to take like the first few weeks I was taking medication, just to kind of see if it would work or it would help. And then I stopped because I saw that there was no difference when I would take it or when I wouldn't. So there was no difference. And so I stopped taking it. But like, by the end of the 3 years before it cured up, I'm not the type to like run and take medications and stuff like that, because I'm into curing the cause of the illness, not just like covering it up and masking it up, because then that even clouds your judgment even more. It will cloud the symptoms also, right? So, uh yeah, not only that, like, medications have a lot of side effects. So, uh you want to think twice before you're going to take a certain medication. No, like, by the end, I was so fed up and out of it that I'm like, you know what, I'm going to drug myself, because like, I cannot tolerate this anymore. I cannot do this anymore. Like, I was at my wit's end. Like, I had persevered and persevered and persevered until, like, I just couldn't handle it anymore. So I was on my way to the pharmacy, and I got into a car accident. Boom. And I suffered another concussion. So, I mean, it was a brain injury and a concussion on top of that. So, I mean, I guess that was a sign where, this is not the solution for you. Like, do not take medicine, and just don't take it. Like, I think that really was a sign where I should not be doing it, should not be taking it. But I was at my wit's end, like I had mentioned. So, yeah. So basically, somebody smashed into me on the side as I was driving, and I was actually with my mom. I asked my mom to come with me, because I was scared. It wasn't something that I wanted to really do, but I was so discouraged and so out of it. Like, she even told me, I don't think you should be doing this, but I'm like, I really can't take it anymore. So I had to, like, at the moment, it was something like I felt like I had to do. So, yeah, basically, like, they hit me. They hit the passenger side. They hit the car, right? They hit the passenger side, and I was in the driver's seat, and like, as they hit me, my head just kind of, bah. So I banged my head on the window, like, really hard. And right now, like, they have side airbags. Like, I don't know. I had to make sure that my new, because that car was finished, like, it was totaled. So I had to make sure that the new car that I had, had side airbags. Yeah, to protect my head, and because yeah, the more concussions you get, it's kind of like it makes your head weaker. Now I've recovered, like I don't feel anything. I'm totally like razor sharp. I have razor sharp memory. I'm really like good with this. I could do all kinds of things at once. Um, yeah, I'm basically like back to normal because it's been like I toughed it out and I got the proper treatments. Like I'm gonna be speaking about the treatments that I got. Um, so yeah, like right now I always make sure that my car has the side airbag. So it's something you really have to think about when you buy a car. It's not only the front airbag, it's really when you get hit by the side, you want to make sure your head's protected here. So the more recent car models have it, but the older models don't. So you really need to think about this. Yeah. Now, I mean, I was going to treatment after treatment after treatment, like twice a week, and I was paying this out of my pocket. Um, and you know, these treatments are very expensive. Like it's very difficult when you have to when you have these treatments and you can't work. It's very difficult to pay these treatments when you can't work. And you just keep paying and paying and paying, and I was paying for like 4 years, like paying, and it was literally like like it was like I was drowning in medical bills. Like all my money was going towards medical bills basically, and my housing and my food, right? But oh yes, I wanted to mention what helped me a lot when I had the brain injury was eating mackerel fish. So I remember I would get a big boost when I would eat mackerel fish. So it's a bluefish. If I remember correctly, it's because it's been a few years. It's a bluefish, and I believe it has a lot of the vitamin that's good for our brain. Sorry, I can't remember. It's been so long. But mackerel fish, anyhow, I think it's like vitamin B that's very good for your brain. I think anyhow. You could just look it up, but it was mackerel fish. And yeah, that would give me a big boost. Like fish, but not all kinds of fish, just mackerel. And yeah, that was the only one that helped because I had tried a few, and yeah, it's just mackerel was really good. So yeah, that would make me happy. I would go eat it like once a week, big fish, and I would take the rest home and like kind of nibble at it during with like the leftovers. I would nibble at it, and it would give me a good boost. Now, because your brain's not working properly, I would uh, I would drink a lot of coffee, like when I had to do just like one simple activity, because I would get a little bit of like an adrenaline boost from the coffee, but like it didn't take away the headache or cure the headache. Like it just like uh, gave me a little bit of a boost. Um, but yeah, I was drinking a lot of coffee when I had things to do. Otherwise, I wouldn't drink it. Uh, yeah. So you're just really tired. Like you're really tired all day long, and you just want to sleep, and you just like don't like when you sleep, you just like uh and when I wake up, I don't want to feel this anymore. And when you wake up and you feel it again, it's like, oh God, another day, another day, another day. Okay, so now I'm gonna get to the the treatments that I did. So I'll tell you my story. I was doing a lot of physiotherapy, where they make you like do stretching exercises. They would like massage your head, your neck, but it didn't work. So I was doing that for a few months. Then I did some hypnotherapy, doesn't work. I did a lot of acupuncture. I mean, it didn't help. I think one treatment I remember helped, but that was after like quite a few treatments, and it was just right before the accident. So I was like, oh my God, it seemed like this treatment helped, and now I got into a car accident. So it was really like discouraging, and anyhow, but it just was not cutting it. Like, yeah, it's just maybe I would feel better a little, like a few hours, and then yeah, back to normal, right? So yeah, I did osteopathic treatments. I did, I mean, physio, osteo. Um, I had a lot of massages done, but by chiropractor, like chiropractic massage. So yeah, when I when I first had the head injury, they did a CT scan, and that was fine. And then like because I was still having issues, I like asked them to do another one because I'm like, I don't know, like maybe right now there's something wrong. Can you just like look into it further? So they actually did like 2 CT scans on me just to make sure, and both turned out fine. So then I was on a waiting list for an MRI. But here in Canada, it takes forever to be if it's not like a situation where you're gonna die, like they make you wait and wait and wait and wait. And I think they called me when the injury was cured up. That's when I was called to go in. But this was like 4 years later, 5 years later, 6 years later, and I was like, what kind of service is this? And besides the point. Uh, but now I make sure that I have like private insurance that covers the MRIs. Like they do it privately. You have to pay a part of it, and then the other part's covered by the insurance. So yeah, I made sure I had that because like if something were to happen, like, and I have to wait another 6 years to get an MRI, no way, no way. Anyways, I never had to go in to do that MRI because things cleared up. But yeah, so I was doing all these treatments and nothing was working. So I was like super discouraged. Like I just super discouraged. And that was my life. That took up so much of my energy to have to go to these appointments. And even when you're driving, it's like I don't know, it's like just a haze. Like you're just like driving and you're like, ugh. But what would be worse would be like having to take public transportation. Like that's so mentally, physically draining when you have a brain injury. Like it's like I don't know. It's like you still have to walk from here to there. It'd be like, you know, that's it for today, and then you wouldn't even like anyhow. Uh, so TMJ, they say it's like your jaw. Okay, so I did all these neck X-rays with a clinic. Okay, at a clinic, and they says, oh, it's fine. Your neck is fine. Uh, Now I went to a TMJ specialist because they're like your the pain in your temple is coming from your jaw. Like something happened with your jaw, right? So yeah, this is what they thought. Like I was diagnosed with it, but they thought that the cure would be to fix the TMJ. So they have all kinds of like appliances and stuff that you could put in to kind of like even out your jaw, and then that's supposed to take away the pain here. Um, but yeah, when they did the X-ray for it, they it was a dentist, but a TMJ specialist. So they did the X-ray, and I had to open my mouth so they could see my spinal cord, like the C1, the atlas, the C1. I don't think you could see the C2, but they're trying to look at the upper neck, like where it starts, like the atlas, C1, C2, C3, and then it goes down, right? C4, C5. So they're trying to look at the top, and it's super important because that's like, they call it the brain stem. But of course, I just went in there thinking I was gonna get an appliance, and then that's it, like, done. Yeah, so, and it would help me, probably not fix my problem, but I thought it would help me. And these things are like thousands and thousands of dollars, like they're like custom made, not the stuff you buy at the pharmacy, but the custom made ones. So, yeah, so what I was saying was, they took the x-ray and they could see my vertebrae here. And they said, Patty, your C1 is rotated. And I says, okay, well, what can I do about it? They're like, if that's rotated, it was rotated, and some kind of, like, it was just not in right, okay? So it was actually a dentist that told me this. So no doctors, no clinics were able to tell me this. No, I says, well, then if that was the problem all along, why wouldn't the doctors have told me? Like, they took x-rays over and over, CT scans, like, and I guess this is just not what they look for. They just look for broken bones, and but obviously it's not broken. So anyhow, it's just, medical system is, I don't know what they're looking for, but they should be able to say, okay, well, this one's slightly rotated and that's the root of your problem, right? But no, yeah, it's just, it wasn't like that in this case. So anyhow, I went to fix that. I just like did a Google search, and yeah, I found like chiropractic clinics. Now, I'm just scared of these chiropractors. Like, I've never been to one. I heard like horror stories where people get paralyzed and they stay that way. So I didn't believe in getting these type of treatments because I found it too risky. Like, I was already suffering and experiencing all these symptoms. I really didn't want to worsen my problem because it was already so bad that I didn't want to worsen it. So I was really scared. Like, that was a big decision I had to make, whether to go or not to go. Is it going to be worse? Am I going to be paralyzed? Am I going to, like, it was hard to make that decision to go, but I decided to go with a chiropractor that does not crack your neck, or it doesn't crack you. Okay, so it's called NUCCA, NUCCA, NUCCA. It's like really gentle treatments. Like, literally, they take x-rays. They take one x-ray before, like a before, they figure out what the problem is, they make calculations, then they adjust you, and then they take another x-ray to make sure everything's straight. So basically everything has to be straight. But did this completely cure my problem? No, but it helped me a lot. Like, this is like the foundation. It's kind of like building a house where if your foundation's not good, not solid, not straight, well, then the whole house is going to be a mess. Like, everything is going to be a disaster. So like, the foundation would be to get everything straight, and it's not so obvious for people that don't want to seek chiropractic treatments and all of this. Yeah, the problem might not be so obvious, but the dentist was able to pinpoint the problem, wrote it down, like this axis, that axis, and then, yeah. So I had gotten like straightened up, basically, and I was suffering from fibromyalgia since I was 17, but that's all I knew. Like, I didn't know what it felt like to not suffer from it. So uh, I had that since I was young, and then I had the brain injury on top of it. So by going to NUCCA treatments right away, like the first treatment, I wasn't even going to seek help for fibromyalgia because I just accepted it. Like they told me like there's no cure for it, and that's all. You have to live with it. So I also didn't know anything else. Like, but of course, I saw everybody around me being able to live like a normal life and everything. But of course, like I had pains in my body and stuff. Almost like it's like what it felt like for me was like flu-like pains. Like when you have the flu. Now I know because I don't have it anymore, and I had the flu. So I'm like, oh, this feels like fibromyalgia. But with fibromyalgia, it's more intense. Like, it was more intense in my case. So yeah, it's just like that heavy feeling, like you're being dragged down. So I had that plus the brain injury. Okay. Uh, so yeah, when I seek NUCCA treatments, right away, you feel it from your head to your toes. Like you feel like your body is like changing because it's like aligning itself. It was probably misaligned the whole time. So then you'll feel like your body's aligning itself and your pains are like disappearing in they were disappearing in my body. And yeah, it takes time, of course, but like you feel it the first session, you feel it. You're like, whoa, why is this like, it's like being, it's like this is your body and then your feet are here. And it's like, the pain is like, because at first when you first get it done, your body is gonna feel like it's changing, right? So it's gonna be like pulling, but not in a painful way. It's just like pulling to like realign and readjust itself, and you're just like, ooh. But then a lot of pain start disappearing, and you're like, ooh, oh, okay. And yeah, it didn't take one treatment. It takes a while. Like I had to go back, I think every 2 weeks, and then it became 3 weeks, and then four, and then I didn't have to go back after. But after like 3 sessions, because the first session I was like, what's going on? So I called him. I says, like, my body is reacting this way, and like I'm going in for brain injury, like, but it's my body, like I feel it until my, like, up to my toes, like it's like pulling, but the pain's going away in my body. And he's like, yeah, it's your body will react how it needs to react, like it will heal whatever it needs to heal. So this NUCCA treatment was amazing. Like I still go just to keep everything straight because I see the value in it. Like if I don't, then like I'll get misaligned and then pains will start coming back, but of course not at the same intensity at all, but like, little aches and pains that everyone gets, like um even from being on the computer and stuff like that, or just like driving for long periods of times, then it will start, right? uh but yeah, not at the same intensity um at all. But uh yeah, so that's how I cured my fibromyalgia. Now the brain injury, it kind of took the edge off, okay, on the head. Took the, like, I would say, like, it took off like the first 2 layers of pain. Boom. So it was better. But then you still had like the deeper pressure pain, right? So I was like, oh, I kept going and going. Like my fibromyalgia was cured up, but then I had to deal with the remainders, and I was like, oh my god, I've done everything. Like, what is there left to do? Like, what do I do? So I used to go to the spa a lot at that point, just to kind of like numb out the pain. Like I would put my jaw in the water, like, the sauna. That stuff helps, but it doesn't cure the pain. So I decided to do a therapeutic massage. Now, I had done a lot of massages, but it was not from a spa, a massage therapist at a spa. And yeah, so I had done a therapeutic massage. And she I don't know, she's like my angel. I don't know, both of them, like the NUCCA specialist and that massage therapist was my angel. So because I don't even know like how she knew what to do, because I'd seen like TMJ specialists where they were charging like so much per session. And yeah, I mean, these were supposed to be specialists in this, like they studied years and years and are still studying, like it's an ongoing thing. But she was telling me that it was the sternocleidomastoid here, right here, sternocleidomastoid, that was causing me pain in my temple. So yeah, she was like massaging it out. Of course, I was shit scared. Every treatment I did, I was shit scared because I didn't know if these things would make my my symptoms worse, and I could not afford to make it worse at all. Because some of these treatments, you know, you go there, they're not qualified, they don't know what they're doing, and they make it worse. So I would have this anxiety every time when it's like a new person or even like the same person. I would have anxiety like, oh my god, please like be careful. And yeah, anyhow. So so she was able to massage it out, but I didn't feel any pain here. She's able to massage it out, and then boom, pain was gone. Like it took like 3 days for it to go away, but like pain was gone. Gone. And did not come back. Now the thing is, I think these muscles, I mean, they were working on them. They were. They just weren't doing it properly. I don't know. But her technique worked wonders on me. And she's not a TMJ specialist or a, yeah, but I told her what was going on and she knew right away what to do. And like the acupuncturist was also working in this area of this part of the neck and, you know, different areas, your head, your jaw, your neck. Um, yeah, then they were even like working like some points in my body. And yeah, so it just didn't work. But she was able to do it right away. And it's funny because like she's my age or probably younger than me, but she knows what she's doing. It's like crazy. I don't know. She's like a healer, magical healer. I don't know what's. She's not magical at all. She just works. She's just a massage therapist at a spa. She's not like a magician or anything, or she doesn't have. She doesn't, like she's not into sorcery or any of that. But I'm just saying, like it was amazing. Like she just was able to cure it right away. So if you have these type of brain injuries or temple pains from TMJ, um, you're gonna want to first make sure your it's basically the atlas, the brain stem is properly aligned. Because if it's not, it's like there's too much pressure going on. Okay, there's some. It's not on straight, so there's like a pressure going on. So then the flow, like the blood flow and everything, everything your body needs in order to function cannot send the message to your brain. It's kind of like, I don't know the messages that are being sent and all of that, but it just cannot do its job properly. So this is why like I had like this, because probably the circulation was not going up there. There was something off. Like there was something off. um so yeah, so once the foundation is fixed, and my chiropractor, he's like, yeah, don't, it's very dangerous for people to crack you, very dangerous. And I know this, like, I mean, it's not normal for people to start cracking you, like your body, I don't think in my opinion, it doesn't need cracking. uh yeah, and this just proves my point with the NUCCA, right? It's just, it needs mathematical alignment, like precision. It's like real precision. So the NUCCA treatments, they, sorry, I'm sick. They basically, he aligns it somehow. Your head is rested on the table, and all he does is like tuk 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 tuk. Like it's just like, if I could explain the pressure, maybe you could see my skin moving. So it's not a lot of pressure. Like it's tolerable. And for me, like I was super sensitive since I was young, and that I was just kind of like looking at him. I was like, "This is your treatment?" Like I'm like, "This is it? This?" Like I literally thought it was a joke, and like, uh, but it's not a joke at all. Like it works, and yeah, I mean it works. So I don't know. It's just proper mathematics, and you don't need to be cricking and cracking and all of this. So yeah, it works, and yeah, I've been doing it ever since, just to kind of like keep myself good. Not for the brain injury, but just like, I don't know, like I told you, like long drives or like on the computer. You know, even when I'm sitting here like this, like I don't have perfect posture, so I just make sure that things are aligned. Like I see the huge value in it, so you have to keep it. Excuse me. You have to maintain it, kind of like you would maintain your car. Like it needs maintenance. It needs oil changes. It needs, the structure needs to be maintained, just like our body structure. Well, car is the same, right? You need to do proper maintenance. So, um, yeah, so this massage therapist was able to focus here and sternocleidomastoid, and then the pain was gone. Gone, I tell you, gone. So it was great, great. Now, the first phases of even when you have a concussion, like because when I got into the car accident the second time, the um, the impact, I mean, it took me like a good three weeks, because I was like, ooh, for like 3 weeks. And yeah, like with that, like intense, like days, dizziness, it takes like a few weeks for your brain to, like the first few weeks are the worst. Like it takes like, and you really have to take it slow. You really have to take it slow. You can't like put too much pressure on yourself to do things, and you have to like sleep a lot. Don't go to work. Don't use your brain too much doing things. um you you really need to rest. You really, and you have to eat fish, macro fish, to kind of like give your brain that boost. Now those cheap vitamins like that you get at the pharmacy, that stuff is just bad quality, like, and it doesn't work. In my opinion, like I felt no difference, but then when I would eat the macro fish, it gives your brain a nice little boost. So yeah, that helped a lot. And what else? Yeah, let me see. My massage therapist is still around, and yeah, if these people knew how much, like they do know how much they've improved my quality of life, but I'm forever grateful for these people. Like forget all those like big doctors, they were not able to help me. Like they even gave me like cortisone injections in my jaw, and it doesn't help. It just doesn't help. Uh, their solutions, they give me dry needling. Their solutions, like they're not solutions. Like their solutions is to give you medicine, or like they do the typical like, okay, follow this A B C D, and they don't even think about like the actual, I don't know, the they don't think of the cause and root of the problem. They just try to find cover up solutions. Like, if the X-rays were off, why didn't they just say it at the beginning and say, okay, well, okay, your C1 is rotated just like the dentist did. I mean, yeah, so the type of X-rays that he took was not like regular X-rays. It was like a 360 panoramic view or some kind of panoramic view. And it was a TMJ specialist, not the regular dentist. Regular dentist wasn't able to figure out my problem either. It's a TMJ specialist. Now, who would have thought, right? Like, oh no, I did the X-rays. My neck is fine. My head is fine. Now, what I want to mention is when you first get a brain injury, this is super, super, super important. Get a CAT scan immediately. The reason is because you might have blood clots forming. And yeah, like someone I know, their friend basically died because of this. She like blood clots were formed and then she died. So yeah, I remember like when the incident first happened, and like the first thing this person told me was like, go get a CAT scan immediately because you could get blood clots. Like, what? Huh? What are you talking about, blood clots? Like, yeah, and you could die. And I'm like, what? So yeah, I had to go right away. And yeah, I remember they made me wait hours and hours and hours for a CAT scan. Like, it was insane. And I really wasn't, I was so out of it. Like, you get punched, you're so out of it, like several times, right? You're like so out of it. So this is just to raise awareness, like fibromyalgia can be cured. Now, I don't want to say like one solution fits all, but in my case, the NUCCA cured it, and even the NUCCA specialist, like I said, you cured my fibromyalgia. He's like, yeah, it could be cured. Could be cured. I've seen cases where it's cured, so just by doing the treatments. So one treatment, you'll feel the difference. If you don't, then I suggest maybe you go for maximum like 4 sessions. And if you don't feel a difference right away, there's no point in continuing. Like, don't think, oh, you have to do it for like 4 months in order to feel a change. No, it's going to be gradual, of course, but you'll feel the change from the beginning. So if you don't, then you might not just want to continue doing it. That might not be your problem, because I know like fibromyalgia comes in different different forms, I would say. You know, like it could come in the form of like food allergies, food sensitivities, like some kind of sensitivities going on in your body, and then they'll label it as fibromyalgia right away and be like, oh well, we don't know what it is, so fibromyalgia. And but yeah, it's like it's not always the case. All right, I've been speaking for 50 minutes, and yeah, I've this is something I've been wanting to share with people. I don't know what inspired me today to make this video because I'm sick and my hair's not combed and I'm just lying around the house, and yeah, like I didn't want to make this video and looking like this, but I don't care as long as the message comes through, and I can help direct you in some way. So the massage therapist would be like therapeutic massage therapist, but I mean not all of them will be skilled. Um, but worst case scenario, like I don't know, like I can give you her name, but like I'm in Canada, so I know people are not gonna like travel to uh to come here. I mean, maybe you could find someone locally. Like the point of the video is not to promote her, or it's just really like, when nothing else works, because I know like how I don't know how discouraging it is when you're trying things and spending so much money and it doesn't work. So I know how discouraging it is, but there are like qualified people, and I hope you can find the right person. If not, I mean, I don't know, like I don't think you will come all the way to Canada to come see her, and I'm sure there are qualified people, but a worst case scenario, like worst case, right? Like then maybe you can come here, but what works for me, in my case, might not work for you. So then it's all relative. So, but the point is to share my experience, and you don't want to be listening to people still suffering from it. Now my experience and my solutions might not work for you, but they are solutions. So it's up to you to find what works best for you, and these are solutions you can try. And but it doesn't mean that, because so many people were working on my TMJ and it didn't do anything. So you need the right hands. I don't know. She has the hands for it. Uh, but yeah, I mean, it's not like a one size fits all, one solution for all type of thing. But different solutions, different people could work. All right. So what else would I want to mention? I think that's it for today. We've been like talking for an hour, so I hope I really hope that you can find a solution to your head injury. Always make sure your basically your column, your brainstem is aligned properly. Continue going and see the NUCCA specialists, uh, because like it takes, what happens is once it's aligned, it kind of gets misaligned a little bit. Then you have to go back and align it, because you've developed this type of sensitivity, okay, this type of weakness, I would say, okay. So I mean, after I had to go back, so you have to, it's kind of like maintenance, okay, so you have to go back. But then I stopped going for 2 years. I was fine, I was perfectly fine. But then like then it hit me, because it was probably so misaligned that then I started feeling pain, so then I had to go back again. But I was good for 2 years, and now I have to go back, but not as much. Like it's just, it's not, and it's not even because I'm in pain anymore, it's just to kind of like, I saw that after 2 years, it came back. So now I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna go. I have like the insurance for it, so I'm just gonna go and avoid these type of like flare ups. I could say, like, because when your head's misaligned, like slowly it gets misaligned, and then your body will flare up somehow. So I just want to avoid that. I want to be like healthy, and I go, I work out, and yeah, like it's great. So I know how hard it is to suffer with a brain injury. It's like really bad, and it's like, I don't know, it's so bad. Like, so I hope this can shed some light for you, and I really hope, just continue, persevere. Like, don't just sit at home and do nothing and just like accept, be defeated. Continue seeking treatments, and eventually it will be better. Like, don't be defeated, because then you lost right away. I had to keep at it, keep spending, even though I couldn't work. I was fed up, and I kept at it, kept at it. And that's, it's also a life skill I developed, and now everything I do, I always keep at it, keep at it, because I learned this like by force. By force. You learn it by force, and you learn through the pain, and you can apply it to anything in your life. And now, like, even just doing other things, right? You keep at it, you keep at it, you keep at it, you keep at it, you'll get results. But if you just give up and you stop, then you lost automatically. So you have to keep at it. So this is a life skill that if you're young, you will develop. And if you're older, well, you probably already know it, but then you'll get tired and you could be defeated also. Um, and I truly hope that, I know some cases are more severe, but I do believe our bodies can cure themselves from brain injuries. You just have to make sure it's on straight, and then massage all properly massage. It's not like just a massage, like relaxation technique. It's the therapeutic massages. I don't know, they know what they're doing, like some of them don't, but eventually you'll hopefully find somebody that has the hands for it and can feel it. Because honestly, you won't feel it. You won't feel pain in your neck. You just feel the pain here, and then the jaw, um, the ache. But the jaw is more tolerable than the head. Like the head pain is intolerable. Like it it drives you mad. Like it literally drives you mad, insane. Like I remember, like I had so much aggression from feeling this like pressure in my pain that I would just like I would have to control myself to not like lash out at people around me that I knew, of course. Like I had to I had to control myself because sometimes I'm like, you don't feel my pain, like leave me alone, like or they weren't even doing anything, but like like so it drives you mad. So somehow you have to let that that anger out because you know that they can't understand, they don't feel your pain, they're not in your situation, like they cannot relate, like so it's they I don't know, it's just you have to, sometimes you feel like you just have to let it out, you just want to you don't understand, like so yep. if you're if you're living with somebody that has this and you're seeing the aggression, just like it's not their fault, like just uh stick by their side, stay with them, because it's really hard. It's really hard. It's not like a headache or a migraine. No, it's like, imagine it's like 24/7 for like years and years and years. Like it's, you go mental. You go mental. All right, so I'm gonna stop there. Bye, guys, and I hope you got some value in this. Bye. Take care of yourselves.